Hey, what's up everybody? Ralph here. So today's topic, I want to share with you 6 credit card tips for new users. Now, for a lot of people, I remember talking to people when it comes to getting credit cards. Sometimes you hear a lot of people say, "No, I don't want to get a credit card. It's just I'm afraid to use it, or no, it's a scam, or anything like that." It's just they have this tendency to be like, I don't want to use a credit card because I don't want to get in debt. And if you're that person, if you're someone that doesn't think you can manage money well, then yes, you should stay away from credit cards because all it is going to do is get you in trouble. But then as time goes around, they learn that that having a credit card offers a lot of benefits, and maybe they find themselves as more responsible users. They understand how to deal with money better, and they want to delve into the luxury of having a credit card and all the rewards that it can provide you. All right, and if you're someone that's a responsible user, then you understand the benefits of having a credit card, especially using a credit card over a debit card, right? But let's say you're that person that said, years ago you didn't want to use a credit card, and now you find the usefulness of it. Well, I'm going to share with you 6 new tips, credit card tips that for you as a new user. So the first one is making sure you pay your balance off every month. Now, I remember back in the days when I had my credit cards, I had debt. I struggled. Like I had over $30,000 of credit card debt. So back in the days, I was a very irresponsible user. Even though I was good with saving money, I just didn't know how to manage debt. I would find myself getting in trouble. Emergency would pop up, and I would try to find different ways of managing money, and I would always find myself in debt, and I could never understand why. So as a person, one of the most important tips is, if you don't have the money, like say you want to make a purchase, if you don't have that money in your bank, then you don't use the credit card, all right? And if you do if you do have the money in your bank and you're using that credit card, make sure you're paying that balance off every month, okay? It's important because if you're not paying that balance off and you're just paying that minimum payment, then that following month you're going to be paying so much more in interest. And I tell people you should never be paying interest on anything. You should never be paying things that's causing you more money. Obviously, you have the mortgages and you pay the interest on that. But other than that, you shouldn't be doing that for a car loan. You should be doing it for your phones. You shouldn't be paying interest on almost anything because it's a waste of money. Right? You imagine, like a lot of these credit cards have anywhere from 15 to 24% interest rate. Imagine that interest rate was coming to you if you invested that money, right? You had a 15% return on your money if you had that invested in like a stock or real estate, whatever. But instead of it coming to you, it's going to someone else. So if you're going to use a credit card, you want to make sure you pay that balance off every month. Every month since now, I never pay interest on my credit cards. That balance is paid off every month because I make sure I have that money in my bank account. Right? If I don't have the money in my bank account, then I don't spend that. Right? A lot of times people are just saying, "Oh, I have a credit card, I have a balance of $5,000. I'll just make sure I'll pay the minimum payments." That's the wrong way to manage a credit card. You don't use a credit card if you don't have that money in your bank account, right? And make sure that pay that balance off every month. That's a must. That's one of the most important tips as a new credit card user. All right, number 2, use the cards for your needs, not wants. And this is where a lot of people get in trouble. Like I told you in the previous. People use the credit cards and they just buy all types of stuff. They're like, "Oh, I have a credit card. I could buy some new shoes. I could buy some new clothes." This is not what you want to use the credit for. You want to buy a credit card for. You want to make sure you're making purchases for things that you need, right? You got the groceries, you got gas, you got certain bills. These are things that you need to pay every month anyway, so why not use your credit card? And if you're saying that if you needed a pair of shoes because you actually need it, let's say you got a job and you need some shoes, then you use it to buy them shoes. But where people get in trouble is they have a credit card and they just tend to spend more than they would if they didn't have that credit card. Because if you just had a cash or a debit card, more than likely you wouldn't be making these purchases. So you need to be very responsible when it comes to using that credit card. You want to make sure you're purchasing it for your needs and not wants. Like, "Oh, let me use this for a trip. I got money. I got a credit card. Let me just go on a trip because I have the credit card, and then I'll just pay back. I pay installments. I'll just pay that minimum payment next month." That's the wrong way you want to do it. You want to make sure you're using your credit card for your needs and not wants. If you keep that tip, you'll be when it comes to managing your money and not getting into financial stressful situations, you'll be better off in the long run. The third tip: do not skip payments. Right? When it comes to your credit score, making payments on time is the most important factor. It accounts for about 35% of your credit score. So this can destroy your credit because usually if you miss a payment, it's going to drop your credit score anywhere 50, 100, 150 points. It's going to drop your score tremendously. And not only that, but that late payment stays on your credit report for about 7.5 years. So it's a huge negative factor when it comes to your credit. So you want to make sure you're making payments on time. Do not skip it. And if you're someone that struggles with making payments on time, or you forget, just use auto payment. All right, just make sure you go to your bank account, go into your account online, and set your payments to automatic. I used to be a person that didn't like it, because I was like, I like to make sure I'm manually making payments on my credit cards. But it gets to a point where you have so much things on your mind, like you can easily forget. So when you put that automatic payment in, it just makes things so much easier. And the way I set it is, I don't set it for making the minimum payment. I'll set it to a point where it's always paying the previous balance. All right, so whatever that balance was previously, they'll make sure that it debits my account. All right, so also because I don't want to make sure I'm paying interest on any debt that from the previous month. So again, please don't make sure that you're not skipping any payments. That's very important. All right. And the fourth one, all right, now using your credit card as a budgeting tool. The great thing as the reason why I use the credit cards is because it's easy for me to just organize everything. If I use my credit cards for the things that I need, it's easy when at the end of the month I can go and look over everything that I purchased and be like, all right, I can either, sometimes you can export some of these purchases on a spreadsheet, and it's a good way to budget, right? I always tell people, like, you need to understand how much money is coming in and how much money is going out in order to know that how to make sure you're managing your money properly over time. A lot of people don't. They just say, oh, I have a job, I have money, and I'll just make payments on this, and they don't know how much is going in. And then by the end of the month, they find that they have no money left over. So it's important for you to understand, like, have a picture of what's going on with your money. And sometimes credit cards can give you a good way to see everything and see everything that you're purchasing, like to see your expenses, to see if you're spending too much money on things that you don't need. And if, let's say, you have a budget, you know where to cut expenses to say, all right, I want to take more of this money and put it into savings and invest it. So it's a great way to budget. It's a good way to use it as a budgeting tool. And not a lot of people, not everyone does it, but if that's something that you want to use it as a way to help budget you month to month, it's a tip that you can use. All right, number 5, take advantage of your rewards. All right, that's one of the best benefits of a credit card, especially for responsible users. If you know how to manage credit cards properly, one of the biggest benefits of credit cards is basically rewards. Whether you're getting travel miles, whether you're getting cash back, you're getting rewards on dinner, restaurants, or whatever it is. Like, you're getting so much rewards, and depending on the credit cards, they offer different benefits. But as you use the credit cards and for your needs, you're getting stuff back. You're getting cash back, so you're saving money, right? And responsible users understand the benefits of this, right? Along with obviously, like, another benefit is like just security. And if, let's say, there's fraud, instead of using your debit card, obviously, like, banks are going to protect their money, right? So if there's fraud with your credit card, they're going to easily reimburse you right back once they figure that out. And that's a good thing. Like, and not only that, but let's say you make a purchase on something and there was you didn't get what the service that you thought you were going to get, they'll reimburse you that. So credit cards are a huge time saver. They save you a lot of time. They save you a lot of money in terms of, like, protection. And it's something that I use it for everything. I rarely try to use my debit card if I can. It's credit cards for everything. And I use it responsibly, and I make sure I pay the balance off every month. All right, so yeah, so great. Take advantage of your reward cards. Take advantage of your rewards cards if you're searching for a credit card to use. Right now, number 6 is making sure you keep the utilization rate under 30. Now, I like to keep it as low as possible, right? But a good metric is if you can keep it below 30. The lower, the better. The lower it is, the better it is for your credit score. So you want to make sure you keep that utilization rate very low. And if for those that don't know what a utilization rate is, let's say you have a $1,000 credit card and you have a balance of like 300, right? So your utilization rate is going to be 30%. Right? The higher that is, the higher that number is, the higher that percentage is, the worse it's going to be for your credit, and your credit will take a hit. And this is a huge impact on your credit score. It accounts for about 30%. All right, so remember, payment history accounts for about 35%. Utilization rate accounts for about 30%. So these are huge impacts on your credit score. So you want to make sure you're keeping that utilization rate as low as possible, because lenders see the higher it is, they see you as a person that doesn't know how to manage your money properly. So you want to make sure you're keeping it low and showing that you're paying the balance off every month. And these lenders can say, all right, they're a responsible user. They make sure to pay the balance off every month. They're not maxing out their credit cards, so they don't seem stressed for money. Okay. So yeah, you want to make sure you keep the utilization rate low. So to go over again, make sure you pay the balance every month. Use the cards for your needs, not wants. Don't skip any payments. Use the cards for budgeting tool. Take advantage of your rewards, and make sure to keep your utilization rate under 30%. All right, so that's all I got for you guys. If you got any comments or questions, make sure they leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, share, and please do not forget to subscribe. All right, so you guys take care and have a good one. Later.